Don't you think I'm cute? Well, I was with the local television in Charleston.
Do you remember when you were Tony Bennett?
I was a producer. I enjoy what I do very much. I have nothing but good memories. I'm getting old.
What are your grandchildren's names?
Oh, I don't know.
Do you remember coming to the wedding?
I don't think so.
Do you know who the President of the United States is?
I can't remember. All of me. Why not take all of me? Don't you think I'm cute?
I first met Lolo at a memory care facility called Clarebridge. I thought she ran the place until she greeted me a second time, forgetting she had greeted me just minutes before.
And if I just met you for the first time right now, and that, forgive me for doing this, but I'd say, good God, you got pretty eyes.
Lolo has Alzheimer's. Her son Dave Simpson invited us into her world and his, and now we invite you in too.
What year do you think it is right now? Just take a wild guess.
71.
1971.
Lolo was born Lois Hermanson in Racine, Wisconsin on June 7, 1930. She left home right after high school to work on a dude ranch in Colorado. That's where Lolo met her first husband, David Simpson. They had 2 sons and settled in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, just outside of Charleston.
Lolo was always a character. We would hear sound like Richard Petty coming down the road, and it was Lolo in her Carolina blue Pontiac Tempest, and she was going about 80 miles an hour, probably in a 40-mile-an-hour zone.
Lolo took a job working at Channel 2 television in Mount Pleasant.
I did the weather and the news, and gee, I can't remember all the things I did.
She even worked with an elephant named Susie Q, which was the station's mascot.
Did you enjoy being on television and talking to people and interacting with people?
Oh, heavens, yes. Can't you tell?
I get that personality from you, yes.
Yes, I love television. And it's really amazing when I go into an area that I used to work in or be in, and when they say, hey, there's Lois. And I go, holy socks, I hope my hair is combed, you know.
Lolo divorced in 1964 and moved with her sons to the Washington, D.C. area. She remarried, but divorced again 2 years later. Lolo ran Washington's annual Cherry Blossom Festival for D.C.'s Board of Trade and married her boss, C.A. Arata.
And he was who she refers to now as the love of her life.
Lolo and C.A. lived in Annapolis. That's where her future daughter-in-law, Denise, first met her.
It was like midnight, and she had a polka dot dress on. She's a very dynamic person. You remember meeting her, you remember talking to her, you remember conversations.
Did she give you the once-over?
I think she spent 32 years doing that.
C.A. died of cancer about 10 years after marrying Lolo, and she lived alone in Annapolis for the next 15 years.
And she had this great house on a lot of land. She had a pool, she had a barn.
And we used to go up there in summers and swim all day, and then she would cook dinner or we always had crabs out back.
And she always had lots of snacks and candy, and she would never give us a limit.
It was after she had grandchildren that Lois became Lolo.
She always told us that her grandma, made her sound old, so she'd rather us call her Lolo.
She did not like to admit how old she was. In fact, there's some speculation that the date that she has on her driver's license at one point was not totally accurate.
How old are you?
Oh, that's none of your business.
Take a guess. How old do you think you are?
29.
While in Annapolis, Lolo produced star-studded events all over the world for the Jack Morton Company.
She worked with Robert Plant, remember the lead singer for Led Zeppelin? Willie Nelson.
Yeah, Willie Nelson was my buddy. Yeah, he's sort of crazy, but really was.
How about Ray Charles? You remember Ray Charles?
Oh yeah.
She did a show with him too.
I loved Ray Charles. So I was very, very lucky that the people they did it because I didn't take money. I didn't ask for much money, and
I don't know if that's true. Do you remember when you were Tony Bennett?
Sure.
Do you remember when what song did he sing that you liked so much? Do you remember?
All of me. Why not take all of me? Can't you see I adore you? And he'd walk in the room and I'd say, Mr. Bennett, hey bud, how you doing? He'd go, oh God, is she here again? And I'd go over.
That's probably the truth there too.
And I'd go over to him and I'd say, looking good, bud, looking good. And I was just real lucky, and I've never been lonely.
She kind of lived a glamorous life, I feel like, and so it was always kind of fun to hear about her, what she was doing and what she had done.
She likes to tell stories, and she's very funny. She's sharp-witted, and she throws out a lot of zingers, so you kind of had to be on your toes around her.
You knew when she was in a room. She was very social. She was very comfortable greeting and meeting people.
A charmer, a definite crowd pleaser. She would go into a room and she would know everyone and everyone would know her.
In 1997, Lolo married her fourth husband, Bob Schulbred, and retired with him back in Mount Pleasant. A few years later, Dave and Denise noticed things were not quite right when they came to visit.
They were having difficulty keeping their home clean. I don't think they were eating right because they both looked like they had lost a lot of weight.
A Thanksgiving visit in 2006 was the turning point.
And Lolo was having difficulty coordinating the different things that she was cooking, and she just wasn't able to basically do it. You could tell she was confused. Her husband Bob probably did not understand or acknowledge the fact that she was probably starting to lose her memory.
Lolo's condition deteriorated quickly over the next few months.
Bob did not want to let her go, and we had a lot of problems. She was wandering outside. Social services had been called, the police had been called, and we needed to jump in and take a hold of the situation.
It was hard to go get her, but it was the only choice I had.
In January 2007, Dave Simpson and his son Ben drove to South Carolina to bring his mother home.
It was overwhelming just having to move her here physically and then find out about all of her financial situations, what hadn't been paid, what she was behind with.
I mean, what was it like having her just in your house?
It was a challenge. She was up all night walking around. She was throwing things.
She had basically 3 ideas on her mind. Where's my money? Where's my car? How can I get back to Charleston?
She'd pack her suitcase and throw it down the stairs and want us. There were some times I'd come home from work and she was standing in the garage waiting for me to take her to the bus station.
I didn't know where to go, and I knew that it was dumb leaving her here by herself because she likes to iron.
I mean, we're both worried, we're both stressed out. It was stressful.
Dave put Lolo in an adult daycare center so she'd have a safe place to stay during the day while he and Denise were at work.
And I just started going online, getting as much research done as I could to find out what my options were.
Dave put Lolo in an assisted living facility.
She didn't last 24 hours, she just went completely ballistic.
Lolo tried to escape and ran into traffic saying she wanted to commit suicide. Dave had her admitted to UNC hospitals. Doctors discovered she was over-medicated and had a severe urinary tract infection, which was making Lolo's dementia worse. Eventually, Dave was able to get her admitted to another assisted living facility, but a year later, caregivers there insisted Lolo be moved to a dementia care unit.
And I knew it would happen, but I wanted to postpone the inevitable as much as I could.
At Clare Bridge, Dave says Lolo gets the care she needs, has friends and activities to keep her busy, but it costs over $5,000 a month, and she has other medical expenses on top of that.
$6,000 a month is a lot of money. And she was a successful business person, and you know, she has a nice nest egg, but we've eaten through way more than half of that. Way more than half of that.
Go right in there.
Right in here.
Lolo had long-term care insurance that would have covered all of her expenses, but she and her husband let that policy lapse.
We are blessed and lucky that she is in a top-notch, wonderful facility. But it's only a matter of time before that money runs out.
Undo your seatbelt. Do you remember how to do that?
No.
Dave brings Lolo home for Christmas and other family get-togethers.
Hi, Lolo.
Oh, Mary.
This is my little angel pie.
Hey.
Here, Lil.
Oh my gosh, you have done so big.
Have I?
Last Christmas, Lolo forgot she had greeted her grandson Ben less than 2 minutes after she greeted him the first time.
Hey, Lolo.
Oh, good luck. I didn't even recognize you.
All right.
Oh my God.
Later, she forgets Ben again.
What are your grandchildren's names?
Oh, I don't know.
There's one of them right there. Who's that?
I can't see without my glasses on.
Hey, Lolo.
Who is it?
You tell me.
What?
Who's your grandson over there?
I can't see that part.
Well, how many grandsons do you have?
Oh, I don't know. Let's not play games.
No,
with
we're
me,
not
really.
playing games. Just see if you remember his name.
Oh, cutie pie.
Who is it, Lolo?
Oh. And if I were on camera, I'd do that, just like that. And I'd go, hiya, good looking, how are you doing? And he'd just laugh a little bit, and then he'd put him down and put him on a chair, and he'd be real quiet. And then when I needed anybody, I'd get that. We had an elephant that we had all the time. And I'd get the elephant over there, and I'd say, babysit my little baby. And he would. Yeah. God, you look good.
Thanks, Lolo.
Look at him, doesn't he look good?
What's his name, Lolo?
Lolo. I mean, I'm Lolo. This is, oh, I don't,
Is it Ben? Is it Ben?
no, it's something else.
That's Benjamin
Ben.
David Simpson.
What?
That's Ben.
I
Remember
know
Ben?
it's Ben, but what is the whole full name?
Benjamin David Simpson.
Well, did you know that? I didn't, but that's.
I did know that.
You did.
That was the first time that I came in a room for the first time and she didn't recognize me.
You know, it's tragic and it's heartbreaking, and I'm not sure that that's fully sunk in yet for Ben or for any of us.
You prepare for it, but when it actually happens, it's a lot harder. Sometimes, you know, I mean, you break down.
I'm used to her a lot of times recognizing my face or knowing that I am somehow related to her, but not always remembering my name, not always remembering who I am. Sometimes she'll call me her friend. I mean, it's Alzheimer's, it's not my grandmother. It's not that she doesn't want to remember who I am. It's her Alzheimer's and she can't remember who I am. It's always kind of a treat when she says, oh, Maggie, hey. It's kind of like a nice surprise, like, oh, you're having a great day today then, aren't you, Lolo? You remember who I am, so.
Do you remember making that, Lolo? You made it last week. Do you remember making it?
I know. I was going to say, where did you get this? Did I make
You
it?
made it. It's got your name. That's your
I
handwriting.
don't even remember doing it.
You did it. And remember when I was at the pre-Christmas party at Clare Bridge last Wednesday night?
Yeah.
Or no, last Tuesday night. And you handed that to me. And all the residents there, the other 41 residents, made similar ornaments that they gave to their family and friends.
Really?
Yeah.
Was that your idea? Or whose idea was it?
It was. I thought it was your idea.
How surprised were you that she didn't even remember making that?
None whatsoever. I mean, I wasn't surprised at all. I knew she would.
You've come to accept that almost. Is it sort of the process for you?
What are the options? I mean, what are you going to do? Can you see what it says there?
Lois, L-O-I-S.
Yep, 2010. Nice.
I'm getting old.
When she first started realizing she was losing her memory, and she first realized she couldn't remember, put a name with a face or remember dates, she was furious and she was extremely angry because she realized what was happening, and it made her very unhappy.
I mean, I just can't remember a thing.
Is that something that you just noticed, or is it something?
No, it comes and goes.
And now when she doesn't remember things, that anger's gone. It's like she doesn't realize she doesn't remember. She just doesn't. Now that she doesn't know that, it's not as hard because she's okay. It's hard for us, not hard for her anymore.
If I can't remember something, then I pull something else. Like, I remember being on the air one time and I had I can't remember the clown that was a clown at Channel 2. Anyway, I said, come over here and open this bag for me, and it was popcorn. And I wanted him to open the bag so it would all fly all over while we're on camera and everything like that. And he knew everything. he knew everything to do, and I came over to him, and I kiss people all the time. I mean, God, that's terrific. Oh no, that I can't.
So you ad-lib. I get the sense that if you can't remember something, you ad-lib. Is that what you do?
Yeah, ad-lib and make up.
I just go with the story and let it go. I never try to correct anything. I never try to add truth to exaggerations. And in the big scheme of things, it doesn't really matter.
With a lot of things with Lolo, you just have to learn to laugh and just take everything in stride.
We could honestly be eating lunch and then leave to go shopping, and we'll say, oh, remember when we had that sandwich an hour ago, and that's gone. And she doesn't remember what happened a month ago or 6 months ago. That part of her memory is really the poorest. Her best memory is 40, 50, 60 years ago.
So when you would come on, what would you say?
Good evening and Friday Night at the Movies, brought to you by Morris Soko Discount Furniture Company, right here in downtown Charleston.
She survived a lot of things, and she survived it very well.
She's like a cat with 90 lives, not 9, but 90. She's had strokes, she's fallen, she's got a pacemaker, she had stent put in, and
I'm looking pretty good, huh?
Absolutely.
It's wonderful right now because Lolo is happy, aren't you?
Oh, I'm very happy.
But as soon as the sun goes down, then it's what they call a sundowner syndrome is going to kick in, and it's not going to be quite as much fun. We have to take you back to your apartment.
Oh, God, Dave.
What's the matter, Lolo?
I can't take anymore. I can't. Oh, Dave.
What's the matter?
I'm so frightened.
What were you just saying, though? You're saying you're getting agitated about what?
I don't know what you're saying now.
Well, I'm going to take you back to your apartment. You get your medicine. Is that okay? Oh, look at the sunset up here. Look how beautiful this is.
And I hate you for put me through these things, and I try so hard to do everything you want, give you everything you need, and I don't ever say no to you for any reason I can possibly help you. I do it. And every time I have to do something like this, that's what it is. It's just the same old thing, same old thing, same old thing. Well,
You not want to go get dinner?
Why, Dave? I can't eat. I can't eat now. I'm going crazy. You're driving me nuts because I blame myself for everything.
Well, you shouldn't blame me. I hadn't done anything.
Look at me. I'm shaking. And
Well, you don't need to be like that.
I don't ask you for so little things do I ask you for. And when you want something, you need something, or I can do something to make your life better, I break my butt to do it. I do everything I can to make you happy.
You're acting crazy right now, Lo.
I'm not acting crazy.
Yeah, you are. She says things that are not nice, and she uses profanity. And the only solace I have there is that's not her. That's the awful, insidious disease. It's not her.
Yes, in the evening she does get a little bit agitated and she gets upset and things like that, but for the most part she's very happy.
Every day is a happy day for me because I don't know the difference. And if you tell me I can't do something, stand back because I'll show you that I can. And I can, can't I?
Yes, you can. Let me have your hand. Come here.
Lolo's Alzheimer's is harder on her family than it is on her.
What do you dread the most right now?
When she doesn't recognize us. When I look at Lolo, I say, there's my mom, and I don't sometimes realize that that's not my mom. That's not Lolo. That's somebody else.
How painful is that?
It's very painful. It's very painful.
How important is humor in all this?
Humor is essential. How many times have you been married?
Twice.
Times 2 equals?
Oh, those that aren't very important. Those that
Married 4 times.
I was not.
Yeah, some people might say you're a little bit of a challenge every now and then.
Isn't that awful?
That is awful.
If you take it too seriously or you dwell on the negative or what she doesn't have, I think it could eat a person up. I think that would be bad.
But you had a couple of strokes and they didn't want you driving, and you, being somewhat stubborn, drove anyway.
Well, that's not true because I'm not stubborn.
Oh, you're not stubborn? Oh, you could have fooled.
Do you think I'm stubborn?
You could have fooled me.
Dave will play little jokes with us. Like at the dinner table, we'll say grace, and then 2 minutes later he'll say, let's say grace.
It'll kill you if you don't have a sense of humor. If you just watch this decline in mental health and you don't have a sense of humor, it's horrible.
It's hard. It's been hard the last 4 years for sure. And I think on a day-to-day basis, the only way to get through is just enjoy the time that I get with Lolo.
Take all the good you can and enjoy every bit of it, and that's what we try to do.
Her well-being and her situation has to be as good as it possibly can be, and I'll do everything I can to make it that.
I love my family very much, and I think they love me. And now I'm going to say goodbye, and thank you very, very much. And I don't know whether it's morning, noon, or night, but it's a day that I'll long remember.